Welcome to Bite-Sized L&D, your quick, no-nonsense update on the latest in workplace learning. Today, we're diving into how mission-driven cultures can lead to employee burnout and exploring actionable strategies to prioritize well-being without sacrificing impact. All right, let's get straight into it.
Hey everyone, I'm Donna, and welcome to Bite-Sized L&D, where we dive into the messy, fascinating world of workplace learning and development. Today, I've got Yakov Lasker with me, our go-to expert on organizational psychology and workplace culture. Yakov, I've been losing sleep over this OpenAI story that just dropped.
Oh, you mean the one where a multi-billion-dollar AI company literally had to shut down for an entire week because their employees were having public meltdowns on Twitter? Yeah, that kept me up too. But here's what really got me. This isn't just about tech bros being dramatic. This is a masterclass in how mission-driven cultures can become toxic without anyone noticing.
Wait, hold up. You're telling me that having a world-changing mission can actually hurt your people? That sounds backwards.
Think about it this way, Donna. When your company mission is literally build artificial general intelligence to save humanity, how do you ever say no to overtime? How do you ever prioritize work-life balance when you're supposedly racing to cure cancer and solve climate change?
Oh, wow. So the mission becomes the manipulation.
Exactly. And that's where this gets really interesting from an HR perspective. OpenAI created what I call a martyrdom culture. The work isn't just important, it's sacred. So when employees burn out, they don't just feel tired. They feel like they're failing humanity.
This is where it gets wild, right? Because one of their engineers, Chung Lu, literally posted on social media about how devastated he was that Meta poached 4 of their top researchers. He's grieving like these were family members, not coworkers.
And then he deleted the post, which tells you everything about the internal pressure. Even expressing normal human emotions about workplace stress became something to be ashamed of.
But here's what I'm thinking. Every L&D professional listening right now is probably wondering if their company has shades of this. Because mission-driven work is everywhere now. Every startup claims they're changing the world.
Oh, absolutely. And look, there's nothing wrong with meaningful work. But when meaningful becomes code for you should sacrifice everything, that's when you've crossed into dangerous territory.
So what are the warning signs? Like if I'm walking into a company tomorrow, how do I spot this before it's too late?
Great question. First red flag. If leadership talks more about the mission than they do about the people. Second, if work-life balance conversations are met with guilt trips about the greater good. Third, and this is crucial, if high performers are leaving and leadership's response is to work the remaining people harder rather than asking why people are leaving.
That third one just gave me chills because that's exactly what happened at OpenAI. Meta starts poaching their talent, and instead of examining their culture, they mandate a wellness week. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a severed artery.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. The timing of this shutdown? It's not random. When you're losing top talent to competitors, the last thing you want is for recruiters to keep picking off your exhausted, isolated employees one by one.
Oh, so the wellness week isn't actually about wellness, it's about stopping the bleeding.
Exactly. It's damage control disguised as employee care. And that's actually worse than doing nothing. Because now you're gaslighting your own workforce about their experience.
Okay, but let's flip this around. What should OpenAI have done instead? Because I'm betting our listeners are thinking about their own teams right now.
First, they needed to acknowledge the problem honestly. No corporate speak, no mission statements, just, we've pushed too hard, people are suffering, and we need to fundamentally change how we operate.
But that would require admitting the sacred mission might be flawed.
Right. And that's the core issue. When your organizational identity is built around being the heroes who save the world, admitting you're burning out, your people means admitting you might be the villain in someone else's story.
This actually connects to something bigger I've been noticing. Remember when we talked about purpose washing a few episodes back? This feels like the extreme version of that.
Yes. Purpose washing is when companies use meaningful missions to justify poor treatment, But OpenAI took it to the next level. They created a culture where questioning the mission or its methods became almost blasphemous.
So what's the fix? How do you create genuine purpose without creating martyrdom?
You separate the work from the worker. The mission can be urgent and important without requiring individual humans to sacrifice their health, relationships, or sanity. You institutionalize sustainability rather than hoping people will self-regulate.
Give me a concrete example of what that looks like.
Sure, instead of saying, we're racing to save humanity, so we need to work 80-hour weeks, you say, we're running a marathon, not a sprint, and we need our team healthy for the long haul. You build guardrails into the system, mandatory time off, workload audits, regular check-ins that aren't about productivity.
But what about the competitive pressure? I mean, if Meta is poaching talent by offering better conditions, doesn't that force your hand?
Here's the thing, retention isn't just about money or even working conditions. It's about psychological safety. People will tolerate a lot of stress if they feel heard, valued, and supported. But when you're working 80-hour weeks and feeling like you can't express concerns without being seen as disloyal, that's when people start updating their LinkedIn profiles.
And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? It's not just that people are leaving. It's that they're leaving for competitors who might not even have a better mission, just better humanity.
Precisely. Meta isn't exactly known for its warm, fuzzy culture, but they're winning this talent war because they're treating people like people instead of like cogs in a world-saving machine.
So for our listeners who are in leadership roles, what's the takeaway here?
Your mission is not more important than your people. Full stop. Because without your people, you have no mission. And if you're burning through talent to achieve your goals, you're not building something sustainable. You're just building something fast.
That's powerful. And honestly, it makes me think about how we measure success in organizations. Are we celebrating the right things?
Right. If your metrics are all about output and none about well-being, you're basically measuring how fast you can consume human capital. That's not innovation. That's exploitation with better marketing.
Before we wrap up, I want to hit on something practical. If you're an individual contributor in one of these high-pressure, mission-driven environments, what do you do? How do you protect yourself?
First, trust your instincts. If you're feeling unsustainable pressure, that's data, not weakness. Second, document everything: your hours, your workload, your stress levels. Third, build your network outside your company. Don't let the mission become your only identity.
And if you're in HR or L&D, you have a special responsibility here. You're often the first to see the patterns, the early warning signs.
Absolutely, you're the canary in the coal mine. If you're seeing turnover, burnout, or public breakdowns like what happened at OpenAI, that's not a people problem. That's a systems problem. And systems problems require systems solutions.
So next time you're in a meeting where someone says, "We just need to push harder to achieve our mission," remember OpenAI. Remember that the cost of that push is being paid by real humans with real lives.
And remember that sustainable impact requires sustainable people. You can't build the future by burning out the present.
Yakov, as always, you've given us so much to think about. For everyone listening, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. The world needs you healthy, not heroic.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep being human.
Thanks for listening to Bite-Sized L&D. We'll see you next episode.
That wraps up today's podcast, where we explored the risks of a martyrdom culture at OpenAI and the importance of balancing mission urgency with employee well-being. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues so they can also stay updated on the latest news and gain powerful insights. Stay tuned for more updates.